With all the quarantining, isolationism, and weirdness in our lives recently, I was craving a fresh new adventure. A plane crash site in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina near Maggie Valley was on my short list of adventures already. I'd heard about the site recently. So, hiking to this location was just the strenuous diversion I needed right now. I packed up my gear and headed toward Water Rock Knob, about 30 miles west of Asheville. The basic story is a twin-engine plane was traveling from the Chicago area to the Asheville, North Carolina area on a dark, foggy, rainy night in November of 1983, nearly 40 years ago. And the flight, ATL 84FA058, disappeared from radar about a mile before it crashed. If it disappeared from radar, this likely means it was then flying too low to be picked up by radar. The wreckage from the crash this tragic night has been sitting on the side of the mountain since. This is the type of plane that crashed, a Cessna 414A. 1,070 of these were built from 1968 to 1985. This is a view from one of the overlooks high up on the mountain. It's easy to see how dangerous and frightening it would be for a pilot to have no visibility and get disoriented up in these valleys. Here at the parking lot for the Water Rock Knob Trail, we are at 5,800 feet. From here, I have to hike up to the top of Water Rock Knob, which is 6,293 feet, then take a small goat trail down the side of the mountain to the crash site. At the Water Rock Knob Trail on a weekday in the summer, there are actually a lot of people hiking to the peak to get a peek at the amazing views. The natural sights and views along this trail are amazing by themselves. You'll find yourself 6,000 feet into the clouds, and will be surrounded by everything that grows here. Once you get to the peak, if you go slightly back and look to the right, you'll see a small trail. This is the trail to the crash site. This trail down toward the crash site is just amazing. It's very physical and extremely beautiful, a true Appalachian rainforest. The turf is rough, a lot of steep descents, roots, dark slick muddy patches. The smells are amazing too though, like a combo of good pot and earthy soil, nature. I would say take a good deep breath in, but the trail is so physical, you'll be taking many deep breaths in, and it will hit you naturally. Follow the yellow marks and later the pink marks too. I don't know who made this trail, but high five to them. Elbow pump, peace sign, and many thanks. It is a twisting mess of amazement. The ferns and other lower canopy greenery here are mind-blowing. And when you're near exhaustion, you'll begin to see the plane, just sitting there, in the middle of nowhere, where it landed, after a very bad night. Eerie and beautiful and fascinating all at the same time. The official NTSB report lists insufficient altitude, bad weather, and alcohol as the causes of this crash. It was a dark, foggy, rainy night, and apparently the pilot became disoriented in the fog, clipped some trees, and the plane nosedived into the forest. The official NTSB report lists the pilot's blood alcohol at .04 in bold type. I personally am not qualified to comment on if this was a factor or not. I don't know how long this plane sat in the forest in November of 1983 before rescue workers got to the location and recovered the remains of the two unfortunate passengers. Was his blood alcohol content higher at the time of the crash? All the complicated wiring still laying here, and mechanical controls. Debris is strewn all down the mountainside from here. I don't know if the two 314 horsepower engines are laying at the bottom of the mountain, or if they were lifted out of here for inspection during the NTSB investigation of this crash. Wiring and electronic relays still laying here, nearly 40 years later. More pieces strewn around the side of the mountain. Who knows what's still down the hill below here? Just getting here to the crash site is a very physical journey. I don't know how many people have gone on down the mountain to see what's left down there. The holes in the side here are probably from tree limbs as it crashed into the forest. And the eerie sight looking forward to what used to be the cockpit. Hearing the sound of rain hitting the fuselage right now, I wonder if that was what the last sounds in this plane were like in the dark before the rescue workers found this crash site. What remains of one of the seats. And one of the control pedals. All that remains of a flight in 1983. 2 lives, rain, fog, steep mountain peaks.